the gates and ready to go. Welcome into this live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Schultz here with you. So glad to have you with us for our Wednesday live show. We're bringing you live shows now 2 days a week, every Monday and Wednesday here on the channel. And coming up on today's program, we are going to get you caught up to speed on the Seahawks OC search, and also how that ties into potentially bringing in Sam Darnold. We'll explain more coming up in just a little while from right now. Plus, I have my first mock draft of 2025. Mock draft season is officially here. Jones's mock draft 1.0 is coming up in just a little while. And we'll do a Q&A mailbag. Start getting in your questions in now using hashtag Seahawks or super chatting to get on today's program. I would love to see a record number of mailbag questions. I already see Chris in the chat, Brandon, Beta, Mikey, Zozo, Kaysoon, Isaac, Tyman. I need all of you. Blaine, among others. Get your questions in the mailbag for our mailbag that we'll be doing coming up later on the show. Dan the Man Miller as well. Get your questions in for that mailbag. I expect every single one of you to get at least one question in that mailbag we'll be bringing you coming up later on. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling here on this Wednesday afternoon. You are watching us as we're coming at you from the Chat Sports Studios here in downtown Dallas, Texas on this Wednesday. Big Tex is here with me. Brett Alper is in the house. The whole gang is here today, folks. We're setting ourselves up for a fantastic show today, and pleased to be here with you. Today is my Friday, so it is almost the weekend for yours truly. So I'm looking to go out with a little bang and enjoy myself over the next couple days. Let us know where you're at. Tyman's in Ohio. Kaysoon's in San Francisco. That kind of explains a lot about Kaysoon. Got Beta YT in Clemson, South Carolina. Mikey in Houston is still in Houston. Well, that's good to see, Mikey. Hopefully things are treating you well there in Houston. Got Daniel in Hawaii. What else we got? Chris is in Pocatello. Ian says hello all. Hello to you, Ian. Good to see you. He's checking in from Auburn, Washington. Got Edis in Austin, Texas, saying go Hawks, keeping Austin weird. I would say, for as much as people say keep Austin weird, Austin doesn't even come close to Portland when it comes to weirdness. Like, Austin at least is a little trendy. Portland is like a whole nother level of weird. Like, I would much rather hang out in Austin than I would in Portland when it comes to, staying weird and all that. We'll see. Got Dano in Tacoma. Got Ismail in Kennewick in the Tri-Cities. Got Isaac in Salem. Blaine says right now in Montana, but I'm from Oregon. Good to see you, Blaine. Blaine, is this your first time on a weekly live show? I always see you on watch parties. We do these live shows every week. I'm glad that you're here for a weekly live show. Let's see. What else we got here? Nicholas is in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Got Board Schuyler in Kelso, Washington. Let's see. Kaysoon says, got you with the San Francisco. Where are you actually at, Kaysoon? I'm glad to hear you're actually not from San Francisco. Nobody needs to be hanging out in San Francisco. All those homeless people, all the needles on the streets and all that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of San Francisco. It used to be a lovely city, and now it's fallen apart and gone to shit. Let's see, what else? We got Blaine, born in Spokane. Got Dogzilla in Malibu. Mike in Spokane. Appreciate you all being here and joining today's program. Who should be the Seahawks' next offensive coordinator? That is the question that we will ask you. We got a big update that we'll get to here in just a bit on the offensive coordinator search, and also how that could connect none other than Sam Darnold. We'll explain more in just a bit, but want to hear from you guys. I see Beta already with the first super chat. Dan the Man Miller with a big super chat as well. Oh man, we're starting out hot today. We'll get to the super chats here in just a bit. Stand by, folks. Here's what we'll do. Tell me who should be the Seahawks' next OC. Let me get an ad read in for game time, and then we'll catch up on super chats. Does that sound like a plan, folks? Let me know who should be the next Seahawks OC. Let's see. Trail says, come on, Tyler, let's get to what's the update in the Seahawks? We'll explain coming up later. Stay tuned for that. Tell me, we'll get to that here in a bit. Stand by. Where are we at? Who do we want to be the next Seahawks OC? Weigh in and let us know in the comments section who you think that is. In the meantime, folks, let's tell you about today's sponsor. That is Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered, including tickets in the Seattle area. Maybe you want to go see the Kraken. Maybe you want to head to Spokane and see those Gonzaga Bulldogs in action. Whatever it may be, Game Time's got you covered. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seats, see if you like that seat or not, and then, boom, just like that, you're checking out on Game Time with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that is a deal you don't want to pass up on. They have their Customize Your Spot feature where you can find the best seat for you. And here's all you got to do, folks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS, $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of Seattle Seahawks today. All right, so we have some Super Chats to catch up on, but here is what we're offering for the folks today. For first-time Super Chatters, you get the Seahawks chant. $5 will take a little smoke break. Smoke them if you got them, right? I got the candy cigarettes are making their return. These things are just absolutely disgusting, but you know what? I look good with a cig in hand. You know, like, let's make smoking cool again, folks. $5 will take a little smoke break. $10, take some shots. $20, do a beer bong. $50, get sauced with the Seahawks sauce. And I'll be honest, I forgot my Seahawks sauce cup today, so I'm just going to have to do it out of the beer bong. So it's going to look like a beer bong when we're drinking Seahawks sauce. So let's get to our first Super Chat of the day, as I believe I already owe a beer bong. This is courtesy of Beta YT. Beta! Been a while since I've seen you send in a Super Chat, my guy. Thanks for that. Beta says, hello, everyone. Hashtag Seahawks. Who would you rather see us draft, whether it be in the first round or later rounds? Beta, great question. I have a full mock draft that I will be getting to coming up in just a bit. There are plenty of players to choose from. I think my favorite player, I'll be honest, there's a little tease for later. My favorite player for Seattle in the mock draft simulator that we did, sadly was not available when Seattle picked at 18. Came very close, though. Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas is the number one player I want for Seattle in this draft. Wasn't available, but who knows? Maybe something changes potentially. But that is who comes to mind. A lot of players I like in this draft. I like Tyler Warren a whole lot. I like Dylan Gabriel a lot. I like Devin Neal. Just thinking of some names just off the top of my head of guys all across this draft, potentially some later rounds. We'll go over the mock draft in a bit, Beta. Stay tuned for that. That'll be our second segment. Beta, this one's for you. Cheers to you. Go Hawks. Happy offseason, everybody. Woo! All right. And then Dan the Man Miller. Hold on, folks. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right. Here we go, folks. We got a $50 Super Chat from Dan the Man Miller. Bang! Everybody spam Dan. Dan, 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 Dan. Everybody. Dan, 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 Dan. Everybody spam Dan in the chat. I just thought of that in the moment, Dan. Give your own song just like that. Dan the Man Miller, the werewolf himself, says, which OC do you think would be a home run for us, whether it's one we've already interviewed or one we need to interview. What did you guys think of that song for Dan, by the way? That might be a song I might just have to keep on doing for Dan the Man Miller. I got to tell you, he hasn't really come up in interviews just yet. Maybe his day will potentially come. Beta's this beautiful song. I like Doug Peterson. I like Dougie P. Super Bowl winning head coach with the Philadelphia Eagles. Did a very good job as offensive coordinator for Kansas City. I think Dougie P would be a good fit. Bring some championship DNA and has done a good job over the years. And I think Jaxon Smith says, please no Dan song. Mikey says, I laugh. What a start to today's show. Oh, we're off the rails already. Dan, what do you think of the Dan song? Oh, man. But Dan, yeah, Doug Peterson, I think, would be a good fit. Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing so hard. We're already off the rails, and we're only about 14 minutes in today's show. I do owe a shot now. Let's see. How's this pronounced? Ingitsu? Ingitsu. Okay. Oh, Beta's coming in strong. Hold on. We'll get to Beta here just a bit. I owe a shot, though. Ingitsu with a $10 super chat. Hey, I appreciate it. That's a shot. Let's see. You're scaring the children, says Adam Bomb. Nicholas says I should be OC. All gas, no brakes. That would be my theme as OC. I think Tex would sign up for that. Tex, I would be a good OC. We would run the ball. Our offensive line would be incredible. Sign me up. I'll be OC. Y'all should see me play Madden sometime or play College Football 25. I could be a very good OC. This one's for you. Ingitsu? Am I saying that right? Ingitsu. Thanks for the super chat, the shot. Cheers. Everybody raise your glass. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. I don't even know what day of the week it is. It's the end of my week. Today is my Friday. I think it's Wednesday, but it's my Friday. I was talking to Chip Kelly last week, the Ohio State head coach, Ohio State offensive coordinator, and Chip was telling me that he always keeps a football schedule in mind. That when I was talking to him last Wednesday, in his mind it was Thursday because of the football schedule. And although the game was Friday, in his mind, keeping with a football schedule was Saturday. So for me, it is Friday. It might be Wednesday for y'all. This is my Friday. Cheers to you. Let's go. There's the first shot of the day down the pipe. Beta YT. Beta YT wants the dance song. Sorry, K Soon. Sorry, K Soon. If Beta wanted it, if he sends in 50, I don't have a choice. Beta YT with a $50 super chat. Bang! Everybody spam Beta. Spam Beta. Beta, this one's for you. I'll give you the Dan song, even though it's for Beta. Dan. We love Dan. We love Beta. Beta. He's no beta. He's an alpha. Omega. There you go. I owe a lot of drinking. Let's keep the drinking going, shall we? Oh, man. Beta and Dan, I'm going to keep on just drinking away. These beer bongs and Seahawks sauce mixed up. Let's just keep going. Spam Dan, spam Beta. We're off to a rocking start today. Woo! What? Beta, you like the Beta song? I mean, you're an alpha. You're not a beta. Alpha Omega, as far as I'm concerned. I'm very sober, soon. Man, more super chats. This is an average Wednesday here on Seahawks Today. We're less than $100 away from a boot on a Wednesday all of a sudden. Petition for the Dan song there earlier from Beta. Much love to you. Blaine with a $20 super chat as well. Let's see what Blaine's got. Blaine, welcome to the Wednesday Live. You didn't know what you were getting into here today. Blaine, welcome. I believe this is Blaine's first time on a Wednesday Live. Let's see. Sean says, LOL, I was telling my wife about your wonderful singing. DK. Touchdowns all day. Sean, I'll give that to you. Adam Bob with a $10 super chat says, run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. That's a shot. That is a shot. Where's my shot glass? There it is. All right, getting turned here. Adam Bomb, you're the bomb.com. Adam Bomb. The Atom Bomb going down the pipe. Cheers. Woo. Honestly, I didn't see this coming. Like, this is an average Wednesday here on Seahawks Today. And just a casual $200 to start today's show. Less than 100 away from a boot all of a sudden. And then Blaine with a 20. Blaine, who is a bad girl. Win, lose, tie. Seahawks till we die. Win, lose, off-season. Seahawks till we die. Is Tyler Lockett retiring? I haven't heard anything. Also, can you please find out where my Seahawks nutcracker is? Still haven't gotten it. No answer in my emails. Blaine, I sent it off to shipping literally a month ago. I don't know the answer to that question. I did my part. I will follow up, and I will check with our shipping department. But I don't know, actually, Blaine. I will follow up and see what's going on there because that is a bit odd. I did my end. Looks like our shipping department, we might have to fire somebody. Blaine, if I have to get somebody fired for you to get that nutcracker, I will take care of it. I will get out. I will fire whoever I need to make sure you get your nutcracker. Thank you, Blaine. Dan the Man with another $50 super chat. Bang! Let's go. Dan says, do you think the reason only the OC has been fired because we're waiting for the new OC to see who he wants to bring in? Hold on. Let me read that again. Do you think the reason only the OC has been fired because we're waiting for the new OC to see who he wants to bring in? Am I misunderstanding something here, Dan? The reason the only OC has been fired? Do you mean O-line coach? Do you mean O-line coach? Is that what you're trying to say when it comes to Scott Huff? Translate for me what you mean there, Dan. I think he's saying O-line coach. That's what he's trying to say. Why Scott Huff hasn't been fired yet as O-line coach. And if that's the case, if that's what you're trying to say, yes. I think the new offensive coordinator, in all likelihood, will get to choose their coaching staff. Choose, at least have a big say in who the offensive staff is around them. So I think, let's see. I think that's what you're trying to say. Maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but yes, I do think the next OC will be able to choose exactly who they want, and that's why no one else has been fired on the offensive staff outside of Ryan Grubb at this point in time. But yes, Dan, another beer bong for you. Cheers to you. Dan says, no, the OC was fired. I know the OC was fired. Ryan Grubb. What am I misunderstanding here? Hold on. Let me read that one more time. What am I miss? Do you think the reason only OC has been fired because we're waiting for the new OC to see who he wants to bring in? I don't know what I'm misunderstanding there. But anyways, I do believe the new OC will get to select their next coaching staff. Their next offensive staff will get a great sign there as far as that goes. I don't know what I misunderstood, but hey, hopefully I answered your question, Dan. Maybe you could kind of clarify with me if you were trying to say something different in the chat. I'll be looking for that comment. But okay, Caleb's with me. He's like, I'm kind of confused too by that question. But anyways, another beer bong down the pipe. Yes. Yes. Another beer bong down the pipe. This one's courtesy of Dan the Man Miller. Cheers. Let's go. Oh, okay. So Dan clarifies. He was referring to the O-line is what he meant to say. Okay. Well, I'm glad I answered that correctly then. I'm glad that we're on the same page, that I interpreted what you meant to say. Okay. The O-line coordinator is what he meant to say. Okay, very good. I'm glad we're on the same page. We figured that out, Dan. Glad we could clear up that confusion on that front. All right. I've been told I need to give some shout-outs. I've been given the directive by Big Tex. Tyler, you need to shout some people out in the chat. So, if you are ready for this live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, spam S. We have 85 people watching already. I would love for more people to join us and be a part of today's show. So we need to wake up the algorithm a bit and get more people to join the party we're having here on this Wednesday afternoon. So start spamming S in the chat. Let's see how many S's we can get over this next minute. I'll shout you guys out, and let's see where things go from here. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I got Ian, Caleb, Barry, Blaine, Ian, Caleb, Sean, Adam, Sky, Caleb, Trell, Barry, Sky, Caleb, Mikey, Barry, Adam. Blaine says like and subscribe. Got the right idea. Caleb, Blaine, Mikey, Sir Ruley, Timothy, Adam Baum. We got Dan. We got Selfish. We got Beta. We got Caleb. We got Mikey. We got Timothy, Nicholas, Dan, Ian, Adam, Blaine, K Soon. 15 seconds. Keep going. Keep going. I got Selfish. I got Ian. I got Sean. I got Mikey. Stargaze. Nicholas. Mikey. Ian. Timothy says love the channel. 5 more seconds. Chris. Caleb. Adam. There we go. There we go. All right. Another beer bong down the hatch for Dan the Man Miller. Cheers to you, Dan. Go Hawks. Happy offseason, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Oh. I haven't done a candy cigarette yet. I'll be honest. These things are terrible. But smoke them if you got them. Who's going to send in the first $5 super chat for us to put down the candy cigarettes? I want to see who's going to be the first one. Let's see who that's going to be. $5 super chat, and we'll smoke them if we got them. We'll have a little smoke break here on Seahawks Today with a little $5 super chat if you guys send that in here on today's show. Let's get a little light driver in. We're at 32 likes right now. I need 40 to start today's show. I don't think that's the right one, but that'll work, I guess. Want the Seahawks to have a great offseason. If you want to start today's show, like the video. And let me know in the chat when you like the video. I'm at 32 likes right now. Type me in the chat if you like the video to start today's show. We're at 33 right now. Where else? Who else liked the video at this point? I'm seeing a lot of S's. We already did that. I need you to type me if you've liked the video. We're at 36 likes right now. I need 40 to start the show. Blaine's already liked the video. I can always count on Blaine. Appreciate you, Blaine. Let's see. Who else? I need 2 more. 2 more to get to 40. Blaine liked the video. Type me if you liked the video. Sean liked the video. Thank you, Sean. Who else? Chris liked the video. Blaine liked the video. Board Skyler liked the video. Caleb did. Sean did. Let's see. Ian did. K Soon, did you like the video? You better have liked the video, K Soon. We got Sir Ruley. I got Chris. I got Ian. I got Jesse. Who else liked the video? Always could count on you, Ian. Appreciate it. Mikey said that's the first thing he did. K Soon liked it. I don't know if K Soon actually likes me, to be honest. I think K Soon actually probably, it's one of 2 things. Either loves me or hates me. But I appreciate that K Soon at least liked the video anyway. Adam liked the video. Ty Man liked the video. Mikey liked the video. Let's see. 2 more away from 50. Can we keep it going? Can we keep it going a little bit? Who else liked the video? Ty Man, Dan. Yes. Chris. Take the one from Chefs yesterday. That'll work. Yep, cool. Let's see. Who all liked the video? I need 2 more to get to 50. 2 more to get to 50, and then we can get this show started today. And we're just right around $90 away from getting to 300 today, which would get us to a beer boot. Can we get to a beer boot today? It has been a minute since we have done a beer boot on a Wednesday live show. Is today the day the 12s can make it happen? I would love for today to be that day. We got to get to $300 to make that happen. There we go. All right. Let's go back to the Super Chat menu real quick, and then we can get started with today's show. Here is what we're offering today. If you want to take part in the program, first half Super Chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5 to take a little smoke break. Haven't got a $5 Super Chat yet. I would love to have a little smoke break. Smoke them if you got them, right? Let's make smoking cool again. Got the candy cigarettes ready to go. Every $5 Super Chat, I'll take care of some candy cigarettes here. $10, take some shots. $20, do a beer bong. $50, get sauce with the Seahawks sauce. Just about $90 away from a boot, which would be awesome if we could do a boot here on this Wednesday live show. Here is what's ahead on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. We'll go over the latest news and rumors, everything you need to know on your Seattle Seahawks when it comes to this OC search. We have some significant news to get to and how it could involve Sam Darnold. We'll explain more coming up in just a bit. Also, I have my first mock draft. Mock draft 1.0. How many of these we'll do remains to be seen. But we will get you our first mock draft of the year coming up in just a bit. And then we'll also answer your mailbag questions. We will do a Q&A mailbag as well. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. And we'd love to hear from you there. Start getting your questions in now, and we will answer them coming up later. Kason Soon saying news, no clickbait, please. Kason Soon, there's no such thing as clickbait. I am a believer that there's no such thing as clickbait. There are people that are too stupid to maybe fall for some tricks of the trade, but clickbait is a test on the intelligence of the viewer, not anything else. That's all that is. There's no such thing as clickbait. There we go. Blaine with the 5. Going to let me smoke them as we got them. We don't do clickbait here at Chat Sports. Everything I say is relevant. Everything I say on this program is important. Everything I say you need to hear and you need to know. Simple as that. Sometimes we get creative with how we title things. But you know what? That's whatever it takes to make sure you guys watch our videos here. Smoke them if you got them. Go Hawks. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. Now I feel like a badass. Smoke them if you got them, right? Just smashing some cigs on a Wednesday. Man, you know, I got to tell you, my grandmother, she was a big smoker. R.I.P. She would smoke those Marlboros. That was her cigarette of choice back in the day. What cigarette do you guys like? What's everybody's favorite type of cigarette? I haven't smoked a real cigarette in years. Probably a good thing, to be honest. All right. These taste horrible, though, these candy cigarettes. Not a real cigarette for the record. I'll smoke them if you got them, you know. All right. I'll finish this candy stick, and now we'll get to the news of the day. All right, folks. We all ready, Tex? Let's do. Without further ado, segment number 1, what? I cannot hear you. I cannot. All right. That's all good. I can hear you verbally. Okay. Adam Baum says drunk cigs don't count. I think every cig in my life has been a drunk cig. I can probably count on my fingers how many cigarettes I've had, and I think about every single one was a drunk cig. I don't think I've had any sober cigarettes. Drunk cigs, though, they hit great. A sober me doesn't need a cigarette. A good answer, says Tex. Yes, we do not encourage smoking, but I wish smoking was still cool. With that note, let's get started. Our news and rumors. We got a big update to get to on the OC search. We'll explain that. Mock draft coming up later. Also, Q&A mailbag. Let's get started here on this live edition of Seahawks Today, starting right now. You're watching Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. We have significant news to get to on the OC search for your Seattle Seahawks, featuring a new candidate and a potential domino effect. We'll explain more coming up in just a little while from right now. Before we do, folks, we are closing in on 62,500 subscribers here on the channel. Just a little over 100 away from reaching that next milestone. You may be wondering, why should I subscribe to Seattle Seahawks Today? Well, you're going to get the best Seahawks coverage you won't find anywhere else with our daily news and rumors, our live shows that we're doing twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. We've been doing some watch parties even in the playoffs without the Hawks involved. We're still bringing you some great watch parties here on the channel. We also have breaking news, Q&A mailbags, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day, all right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Make sure all your friends subscribe as well. You'll be glad you did. The Seahawks have requested an interview with Vikings assistant offensive coordinator and assistant QB coach Grant Udinski. And if you don't know the name, that's okay. Let's tell you more about Udinski and then also what the other potential implications are with Udinski here. Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network, NFL Insider, posting the following, saying the Seahawks have requested an interview with Vikings assistant coach / assistant QB coach Grant Udinski for their vacant offensive coordinator job, sources say. The 28-year-old Udinski has been a vital part of Kevin O'Connell's operation and clearly on the coaching fast track. That's my age, folks. What am I doing with my life? I'm here with you talking about the Seahawks when I could be like Udinski here and coaching with the Vikings. Anyways, back to Udinski here for a second. Let's connect some dots here for a moment. So you're telling me that Udinski is there with the Minnesota Vikings, okay? And they got 2 quarterbacks there, one with J.J. McCarthy, all right? That seems to be their quarterback of the future. And then another guy in Sam Darnold who didn't play great in the final 2 games of the season, had a very good season, but could be looking for a new home next year. So are you telling me that Seattle potentially here could be looking at Udinski and potentially pairing him up with Sam Darnold here? Now, as my guys at Pardon My Take would say, PFT and Big Cat, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. However, I am a connect the dots guy. And these are some interesting dots to connect. And I don't think it's far-fetched to connect these potential dots here of the path that could potentially be created. Now, obviously, the first step, let's see if they hire Udinski to begin with. But then step 2, does that mean Sam Darnold? That's not a foregone conclusion, but it is an interesting idea here of what this could potentially turn into. So, what about Udinski and Sam Darnold? Corbin Smith of SI All Seahawks said the following. Teaming up with Udinski again would seemingly provide the best chance for him to continue playing at a high level. However, leaving the door open for him to replace Smith in Seattle. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily love it either. I've heard a lot worse ideas that are out there. But Sam Darnold, I've been a believer in Sam Darnold for a long time. I liked him coming out of USC. I thought the Jets gave up on him too quick. I thought the Panthers gave up on him too quick. And the Niners going there, backing up Brock Purdy, getting in Kyle Shanahan's system, that did him wonders. I was not surprised at all with what he did in Minnesota because this is who he's always been, but it was always in bad situations until the chance that he took advantage of this past year in Minnesota. Darnold joined the Vikings this season after playing for the 49ers, Panthers, and Jets. He was a Pro Bowler this year. He's got a pretty decent chance to win the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year award this year. And you look at the statistics he put up. I mean, it was just fantastic what Darnold was able to do. A completion percentage over 62%, over 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And think about this, when you compare him to Geno Smith, Sam Darnold got sacked a lot this past season. And yet he was still able to throw for 35 touchdowns and 12 picks. Even with all the pressure that he was under one of the worst offensive lines in football, his numbers were drastically better than Geno Smith's were. Now, how about the Benjamins? Show me the money, as they say. How much would it cost? The latest projection from Spotrac to bring in Sam Darnold right now is about 4 years, $160.4 million. Not cheap for Sam Darnold, but he's still in his late 20s at this point. So he's not very old. And if he were to have another big season again next year, then he could potentially make even more money than that. Let's say if he were to sign a one-year deal. So with that said, what do you guys think? Should Seattle sign Sam Darnold here? What do you think about this possibility? You got two options. Weigh in on our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, N for no. Chime in on our pinned comment today. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sport events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's a deal you don't want to pass up on. They also have their seat views. You can get the visual, see what that seat is like. They also have the customize your spot feature as well. Here's how it works. You choose the event you want to go to, got the prices listed, choose your seat, and then just like that, you're checking out. With Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. All right, so enough on Darnold for a moment. Let's go back to the coaching candidate we talked about at the top of today's show, that being Grant Udinski, and get to know him a bit further. We mentioned a pretty young cat. You can see he's got the baby face going and the Supercuts haircut and everything going on there. He's been on the Vikings offensive staff since 2022. Prior to that was a coaching assistant for the Carolina Panthers, and before that he was a GA, a graduate assistant for the Baylor Bears. And I'll say this, there's a great unknown here when it comes to Udinski. With the youth at 28 years old, the lack of experience, but the more I get to know about Udinski, with what people are saying about him being a part of a very successful offense there in Minnesota that saw Sam Darnold have the best season of his career by far, the more I'm intrigued with this possibility of giving him a chance in Seattle here. Josh McCown had this to say on Udinski. He said the following. He reminds me a ton of Kevin O'Connell when I had him as a quarterbacks coach in 2015 with the Browns. You could tell immediately with his presence and intellect, he was going to be a really good coach. That's definitely what I can feel from Grant. The Star Tribune, the newspaper there in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis, St. Paul, they referred to Udinski as the most intriguing man on the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff. And there's a number of things that you can point to. J.J. McCarthy, the first-round pick by the Minnesota Vikings, the former Michigan quarterback, he said that working with Udinski, he is of the belief, and he has convinced some people within that building there in Minnesota, that Udinski has a photographic memory, that this guy remembers everything to a T. Every little detail, he's got it figured out. Kevin O'Connell, his boss, had this to say about Grant Udinski. It would not surprise me if he's on a pretty skyrocketed timeline. When I'm working for you years from now, please go easy on me, no matter how I treat you. So, a young coach, all right, very young coach, a brilliant offensive mind, and the photographic memory. You know who that makes me think of? Sean McVay. Remember him? Sean McVay when he was coming up? The young, offensive, just brilliant mind with the photographic memory. And now he's one of the best coaches in all of football. Seattle believes they found the Sean McVay of defense in Mike Macdonald. Maybe they need to go find the next Sean McVay of offense here with Grant Udinski, potentially speaking. So, now that you've gotten to know Grant Udinski, what do you think? Should Seattle hire him as their next OC? Type H for hire, type D for don't. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know if you think Seattle should hire him or not. Appreciate y'all joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. We will continue covering this offensive coordinator search. We'll also keep tabs on what potentially could be going on with Sam Darnold. Maybe he ends up in Seattle potentially. We will be all over it right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. For the latest happenings on your favorite team all off season long, subscribe now for free. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time. All right. So, let's go back to Darnold for a moment. Big Tex is here, by the way. We haven't heard from him today. He's been pretty busy working on some other stuff. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Who should the Seahawks sign? Or rather, should the Seahawks sign Sam Darnold? Y for yes, N for no. It's our poll question right now. And 64% of you say no. 36% say yes. Blaine says when we're going to Vegas. Blaine, you tell me. I know already that A1 Eagles fans down for a Vegas trip. I already know that our boy Jaden Norris, a.k.a. Banana, is down. And Blaine, I mean, we got quite the trio on hand for this Vegas trip. I'm down to make this Vegas trip. You tell me, and we'll make it happen. Maybe sometime in the spring. Let's let it warm up a little bit. A little too cold. I want to enjoy Vegas when it's warm. That's one of the great things about Vegas is the warm weather. I want to get out in the pool and enjoy myself, get a little tan. I'm a little too pasty right now. Most of y'all know I'm Native American. I like when my skin gets nice and tan. Maybe I need to hit a tanning bed or something because I look too white right now, if I'm going to be honest. All right, Super Chat menu. Dogzilla, no, I have not stopped drinking yet. Never stopped drinking. Never stopped drinking on this show. First time Super Chatters, get the Seahawks chant. $5 will take a smoke break. Smoke them if you got them. $10 will take some shots. $20 beer bong. $50 gets sauced with the Seahawks sauce. We are about $85 away from a boot. It's been a while since we've done a boot on a Wednesday live show. Could today be the day that we do a boot? I'm intrigued. We're awfully close already. Let's see if you guys can make it happen. $ sign next to the chat box. if you would like to contribute and join today's show. Tex, make an appearance. Let's see your lovely face. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Tex has been very busy, but he is here with us. He is in the flesh. Tex, welcome. First off, Sam Darnold. What do you think about this possibility?
I think I agree with a lot of your points, and they kind of reflect what Pat. Whoa,
Blaine wants you to take a shot.
All right, I'll take a shot, Blaine. Appreciate you.
You want to take just a big chug here?
Yeah, I'll take a big chug.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Cool. Appreciate you, Blaine. Just take a big swig here. Dope.
There we go.
There we go.
Blaine says shots. You and Big Tex. Go Hawks.
Oh, yeah.
Blaine. Tex, what is Blaine?
A bad girl.
You got to say with some authority.
Oh, I think you say it better, man.
Oh, that's a cop-out. Blaine, you are a bad girl.
Yeah, you just say it better, man. You got it down.
Tex didn't even try. No effort. Blaine, I got your back. Go ahead, continue, Tex.
But yeah, what were we just talking about? Sorry, I got
Sam
lost.
Darnold.
Sam Darnold, that's right. Yes, Sam Darnold. I feel like you had the same points that Patrick reflected in Vikings Now, our Vikings Now host. Before the season started, a lot of people were kind of just looking at the body of work that he had in bad situations, especially with the Jets being a prime example, and then also the Panthers didn't give him an opportunity to succeed very much. So.
Yeah.
But then you go into the Vikings offensive support system, and you've got people like Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and T.J. Hawkinson to throw to when he's healthy. Like, it's a lot better, and like you said, that's why he threw for career numbers. He threw for over 4,000 passing yards, 30-plus touchdowns, and only like 12 picks. So, I mean, I think he could fit in Seattle's system. It just depends on if they can, replicate the same success he had this year and get a deal done and make it work with the cap space. I think it makes sense though, and I think it'd be successful.
Yeah. Brandon wants to know, Tyler, do you drink Voodoo Ranger beer? Not regularly. I've had it before, but it's kind of hard to find. I don't see it everywhere. I'd gladly have it, though, but it's been a while since I've seen it anywhere. But very interesting question there, Brandon. What were you saying before the show, Tex, that you're something about you on the eyes?
What do you mean?
Oh, what did we say? That the women think you're good on the eyes? What was the line?
Easy on the eyes?
Easy on the eyes.
Yeah, you said that.
Tex, he was saying before the show, all the women, they've been saying that he's easy on the eyes.
Oh, yeah, totally. You know me.
Yes.
Very boastful.
Oh, yes. Yes. Ladies, I know Blaine she's a bad girl. Tex, easy on the eyes? We need an opinion here.
Are you asking?
I'm asking them. Is Tex easy on the eyes?
I've got a hat on, so it's hard to tell. But I'm pretty sure Blaine's married, right?
Blaine is married.
Okay.
But she's still flirty,
Okay.
I always think, Tex, like with married women, you can practice flirting with them. It's just practice.
Okay.
And then you can figure out what works and doesn't on the ones you want.
Interesting.
Blaine says I like Tyler better. Don't throw Tex under the bus. No.
No, that's fair. Hey.
No. You can throw compliments to both of us. No.
She gave an opinion. It's fair.
I'm not going to stand for any Tex slander. No. Even if I appreciate the compliment. What pouches you got today, Tex? I forgot to bring mine in.
These are zones.
Do you have any extras?
Yeah, man. Go for it.
My guy.
Can I get one from yours, or are you all out?
I probably have some at my desk, I think, but I forgot to bring them with me in here. But I will repay accordingly.
Okay, no
so we got wintergreen zones today.
Yep.
These ones, they're not the 9, so they won't kick as much.
No, but they're pretty solid still.
You've kind of tempered down a little bit, right?
A little bit. Got to dial it back a little bit.
Because it's not necessarily great for the heart.
True. The
bigger pouches.
Yeah, just in general, yeah. But especially the bigger ones.
Probably a good idea to go down if you can.
Yeah, dial it back a
Pause.
little bit.
All right. Let's get to our mock draft segment.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Rainwater Game says, I'm late. What did I miss? It's been a crazy show so far. It has been a crazy show so far. But don't worry. There's plenty more ahead. We are $65 away from a poot. Up next, we're going to do a mock draft. And then after that, we got a Q&A Rumors mailbag. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. Blaine says, not my type, I guess, in reference to text. And my husband is actually the one that found out this show and liked Tyler. Okay, well, great. Blaine, is your husband ever in the chat? Would I recognize your husband, Blaine, in the chat, or is he not a commenter? Follow up with me on that, because we do have a couple here. Poopsie and Kelly Smith are married, and they're both very involved in the chat and the comments and all that. Blaine, would I recognize your husband? I'm glad your husband's a fan. Tell your husband hello for me. Hope you guys are having a great time in Montana. I have not been to Montana since I was in high school. I went to Yellowstone. Quick story. Went to Yellowstone as a kid. My dad's SUV got stuck in Yellowstone. We had to get towed out of Yellowstone. That's my memory of Yellowstone, was getting towed out of there. And I remember my dad not being happy because he had to spend over $200 on a tow to get out of Yellowstone of the last 15 minutes. And they would not let him call his towing company. They required him to use what's the dinosaur gas station? Sinclair? They required him to use the Sinclair towing system. And they charged him $200 to go 15 minutes. And then when he towed to the hotel from there, it only cost $15 to go 2 hours. It was ridiculous. So that was my Yellowstone experience, was getting towed out of Yellowstone with my father and my mother. And yeah, not a Yellowstone fan. All right. Let's get to the mock draft. Dun 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 dun. With the first pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select. Find out right now. It is mock draft time. Our first mock draft of the year. We will bring that to you. Also, continue to get your mailbag questions in using hashtag Seahawks or super chatting to get on today's show. Yes, it is Prize Picks. Daily Fantasy Made Easy. Adam says, name your child, Tyler. I do not have children. Oh, he's saying that Blaine needs to name her child, Tyler. Blaine, I would love if you named your future child Tyler. If I had my namesake, if your child was my namesake, I'll be there for the birth. I'll send gifts too. If you name your child after me, I would be honored. I would be honored. Mike, Blanton's Bourbon. I think I've had Blanton's. I don't distinctly remember it, but I think I've had it at some point. I'm not sure. Text, are we good? All right. Mock draft 1.0. Our first mock draft of the year. Let's get to that starting right now. Here we go. Mock draft season is here on Seattle Seahawks today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we are going to give you our first 3-round mock draft. We will go over each pick for Seattle in the first, second, and third round and tell you who we think could end up with your Seattle Seahawks in 2025. We'll explain more coming up in just a bit. Before we go any further in today's show, though, folks, who's on your draft board? No wrong answers here. Name me a player you want the Seahawks to draft. I don't care if it's a first-round pick or a seventh-round pick. Just give me a player you want to see Seattle draft this April. Weigh in the chat. Let us know. We'll get started with today's show. So let's explain how this works before we get to our mock draft today, folks. So I went to my computer, and I went to the Pro Football Focus simulator, and I adjusted the settings, and I made every pick for Seattle from rounds 1 to 3. No trades involved in this draft today. All right? PFF did all the picks for everybody else, and then I made the picks for Seattle. So now you know how this works. Let's kind of set the scene for you of how the offseason looks like for Seattle right now. Mike Macdonald entering his second season as the Hawks head coach. According to overthecap.com, Seattle has about $15.17 million in cap space. Other people have different numbers, but that's at least the number Over the Cap is projecting for Seattle right now. Coming off a 10-7 season in Mike Macdonald's first year, and there's a lot of needs for this Seahawks team. The offensive tackle spot has some big question marks outside of Charles Cross. The interior of the offensive line at both guard positions and the center spot. You need some more pass rushers at the edge. Corner is a big need. Linebacker, we don't know right now if Ernest Jones is coming back or not. We hope he is, but we don't know that just yet. The quarterback position, that's a whole nother story. Is Geno going to be around long term? What about Sam Howell potentially? You need to start planning for your future when you have a 34-year-old quarterback. The tight end spot, Noah Fant isn't that great. A.J. Barner's not going to be anything more than a number 2 tight end in this league. And then the wide receiver spot, Tyler Lockett, more than likely gone. Got to find a replacement for him as well. Seattle's draft picks include the number 18th overall selection in the first round, the 50th overall pick in the second round, the 82nd overall pick in the third round, and the 136th pick in the fourth round. They have 4 other picks, which include the 5th round selection at 171, 6th round pick at 183, another 6th round pick at 210, and their final pick of the draft comes at 234. So, let's get started here. The last 5 picks prior to Seattle at 18, according to the PFF simulator. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle for the Ohio State, goes to the Dolphins at 13. Jalen Walker, the linebacker from Georgia, goes to the Colts at 14. Ibuka, the star wide receiver from Ohio State, goes to the Falcons at 15. Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive tackle from Texas, goes to the Cardinals at 16. And then Tyler Warren from Penn State goes to the Bengals at 17. So, who is available for Seattle to select with the 18th overall pick? Here are the 5 best players available for Seattle with this pick. They include Benjamin Morrison, the corner from Notre Dame, Mikael Williams, the edge rusher from Georgia, Kenneth Grant, the defensive lineman from Michigan, Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher from Texas A&M, and Armand Mimbo, the offensive tackle / offensive guard from the University of Missouri. So, with that, the pick is in. Dun, 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 dun. With the 18th overall pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Missouri offensive tackle / offensive guard Armand Mimbu. There's the pick. Seattle fans rejoice. They get the offensive line help they were looking for, folks. A guy that can play multiple positions as well. Somebody that some people think is a guard, some people think is a tackle. He was a tackle at Mizzou. But if you're Seattle, if you're Mike Macdonald, you're excited because you're just thinking to yourself, I'm going to find a spot for him to play one way or the other as a day one starter immediately with this 18th overall pick. Let's get to know Armand a little further. He's been at Mizzou since 2022. He was the second-team All-SEC selection this past season. And Mel Kiper Jr. tends to think that he's more of an offensive guard at the next level. He has him as the number 6 offensive guard on his big board, transitioning over from the offensive tackle position he played at Mizzou. His numbers, according to Pro Football Focus this past season, were absolutely incredible. In 827 snaps, he had an offensive grade of 90.5, a pass block grade of 85.4, and a run block grade of 88.0. He could do it all, folks. In the scouting report, you're going to like what we have to say about him as well. He's got a thick build. Not T-H-I-C-C. No, the other kind of thick. T-H-I-C-K. He's explosive at the point of attack. A mover that's dense. He excels in widening out, taking up space. He has an imposing demeanor. I would not want to run into this guy in an alley. Let's put it that way. His big weakness, though, he can be a little tardy when it comes to strike times. He responds a little too slow when he needs to make a move on an incoming pass rusher. But other than that, everything looks pretty promising for what he could potentially bring to the National Football League. So, what do you think? Should the Seahawks draft Armand Mimbo? Weigh in on our comment today. Type Y for yes, in for no. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. And Prize Picks has got a great deal they're offering right now. They will give you $50 to play for free. When you play $5, you don't even have to win the money. And right now in Prize Picks, folks, you can win up to 1,000 times your money at prizepicks.com/CLNS. I'm looking ahead to some pro football playoff action this weekend. Going with Patrick Mahomes to have more than 250.5 passing yards. Going with Isaiah Pacheco to have more than 42.5 rushing yards. And Joe Mixon to have less than 60.5 rushing yards. If I put $20 down and all 3 of those hit, that turns into $100 on Prize Picks. Play along with us, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of Seattle Seahawks today. Glad to have him on board here on today's show. All right, let's skip ahead to the second round now. The Seahawks back on the clock at 50th overall, and there's still a lot of good talent on the board, which includes Cam Scatterbo, the running back from Arizona State, Gunnar Helm, the tight end from Texas, Jaden Higgins, the wide receiver from Iowa State, Cameron Williams, the offensive tackle from Texas, and Dylan Sampson, running back from Tennessee. So, who will be the 50th pick? The pick is in for the Seattle Seahawks. Dun, 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 dun. With the 50th overall pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Texas offensive tackle Cameron Williams. Let's tell you more about Cameron Williams here, folks. A Joe Moore Award semifinalist in 2023. Mel Kiper has him as the number 7 offensive tackle on his big board. And this is a big dude. I mean, this guy, he's eating pizza. He's eating steak. He's eating hamburgers. He's eating pasta. Big Tex tells me he probably needs to cut a few LBs, but nonetheless, the Seattle training staff should get him in some pretty decent shape there. His grades, according to PFF, were not bad, but they weren't great necessarily this past year at UT, with an offensive grade of 67.4, a pass block grade of 72.6, and a run block grade of 70.8. What exactly does he bring to the table? Let's go over his scouting report. He's got long arms, folks. I mean, they just go like this. They would probably extend out way beyond this screen, folks. He can certainly reach out. He is rugged, and he's got a powerful build. He looks the part. He's a space closer. That defender tries to make a move, boom, he's there. He's on it. He's got knockdown power, all right? No one is going to question this guy's athleticism and the strength that he brings to the table. His one drawback, he does have some mediocre range, though, as far as that goes. So, we're 2 picks in now. What do you guys think about Cameron Williams? Should Seattle draft Cameron Williams if he's available there in the second round, just like how this played out in this PFF mock draft? Weigh in, let us know. Type D for draft, type P for pass. Big Tex, he's spamming D for draft. If you agree with Big Tex and me, type D for draft, weigh in and let us know. Folks, this is only the beginning of our draft coverage here on Seahawks Today. There will be plenty of more mock drafts in the future. We'll do a 7-round mock draft here pretty soon. We're going to continue to bring you our daily news and rumors, our live shows twice a week, breaking news, Q&A mailbags. Your one-stop shop for all things Seattle Seahawks all off-season long is right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Let's move ahead to round number 3 now, the 82nd overall pick for Seattle. Here are the best players available. They include Jeffrey Bassa, the linebacker from the University of Oregon, Nick Imanwari, the safety from South Carolina, Derek Harmon, defensive lineman from Oregon, Devon Neal, running back from Kansas. Oh, I know we don't necessarily need running back, but I love Devon Neal. You guys know I'm a Kansas guy. I called Devon Neal's games in high school. I gave him the nickname Real Deal Devon Neal, and I think he's trademarked that now. Everybody calls him that now. I would love Devon Neal, but we don't necessarily need him. And then Trey Harris, the wide receiver from the University of Mississippi as well on this list. So, who is going to be the pick? The pick is in for Seattle with the 82nd overall pick of the 2025 NFL Draft in round number 3. The Seattle Seahawks select Derek Harmon out of the University of Oregon. Tremendous value with this pick, folks. I was shocked to see Harmon available here in round number 3. Some people, like Mel Kiper, think he's a first-round talent in this draft, but PFF had him available in the 3rd round. I cannot pass up the opportunity to bring in Derek Harmon. Played this past season for the Oregon Ducks. Prior to that, he was with the Michigan State Spartans, a second-team All-Big Ten selection. I thought he personally got snubbed from the first-team All-Big Ten team and potentially being an All-American. Mel has him as the number 18 overall player in this year's draft and the number 3 defensive tackle. And you think about the defensive line for Seattle. You brought in Byron Murphy. You got Leonard Williams on a long-term contract. But then beyond that, you got some major question marks. How much longer is Jaron Reed going to be there? You certainly don't want Jonathan Hankins back. You need some reinforcements. Derek Harmon could potentially be that. Harmon this past year, a very good year with the number 1 team in the land, the Oregon Ducks, who lost in the Rose Bowl to Ohio State. He had 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 11 TFLs, and 45 tackles. He was a man among boys. What's the scouting report on Derek Harmon? Let's tell you about him. He's got a thick build with long arms, an impressive upper body. All right? I mean, it's so impressive that Sidney Sweeney would even be impressed. He's aggressive as the pick player. He's got solid arm over moves. But his drawback, he lacks gap discipline at times in the run. So that's going to need some coaching to get his attention there as far as that goes. So to recap, mock draft 1.0 of our first 3 selections. We went with Armand Mimbo with our first selection in the first round, the offensive lineman from Mizzou. Our second round pick, we went with Cameron Williams, the offensive tackle from the University of Texas. And in the 3rd round, we got help on the defensive line with Derek Harmon out of the University of Oregon. So, how did I do, folks? I think I did a pretty bang-up job, if you ask me. Grade it, A, B, C, D, or F. Anything less than an A, you are a certified hater. Get those A's. I know I did well. Grade how I did on my first mock draft of the year for Seattle. In the comment section, let us know. For continuing Seahawks coverage, follow me on X, @TylerJonesLive. Appreciate y'all joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. So, how did I do? Maryland says D. Maryland, what did you hate about that? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I thought I did a pretty bang-up job. Alper thinks I did a good job. Let's see. We got Blaine saying A+. There we go. That's more like it. Sean says F. No Kyle McCord. Ohio State didn't even want Kyle McCord. Why would I want him? Yeah. Seahawks fan says A+. Steve says A. Rainwater Games says A++. I guess you're smarter than you look. What are you trying to say? Do I look like a dumbass? Sage says it's an A+. Adam Baum says B. Adam, give me a reason. You can't just give me a B without telling me why I got a B. Seahawks fan says first pick is the D. Next two are A range. What's wrong with the pick? What's wrong with the pick? I know ball. I know ball. I know ball. All right. Super chat menu. Mailbags coming up next. Our final segment. First time super chatters. Get the Seahawks chant. $5, we'll take a smoke break. $10, we'll take some shots. $20, do a beer bong. $50, get sauce with the Seahawks sauce. Text, we could probably use some more questions. Get your questions in. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. Sean says B for first. No one gets an A on the first draft. How about Tyler Booker, a true offensive guard in a high need? Booker was already gone by the time we picked. There's nothing I can do about it. He was gone. Okay. So, yeah. So I think we're good on questions. All right. Mailbag time. As some people would say, it's time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this mailbag edition of Seattle Seahawks today. Blaine, are you saying wow to my mock draft? Did I impress you that much? Sean says okay. I'm not going to please everybody. I know that. But I know college football more than all of you. I watch it even more than I do college football. You're just going to have to trust me on this, folks. I had a very good mock draft. I know ball. I know what Seattle needs. I think I did a really good job. That's the one that was kind of confusing because he didn't type that out right. Let's see. The one about OC would be good. That would be a good one, too. Yeah, those would be good. Yep. All right. Here we go, folks. Yes. Get your questions in. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. Our final segment before we get out of here today and call it a day here on Seahawks Today. Yes. All right. Without further ado, let's see. Adam, when did I claim Justin Fields was good? When did I claim Justin Fields was good? Now you're just making up shit. Don't lie. Don't lie. No lying around here. I never said Justin Fields was a good quarterback. I think he's mid. I think he's coming back to Pittsburgh, too. All right. Without further ado, mailbag time, final segment. We'll dive in and tell you what you need to know coming up here right now here on Seahawks Today. It is time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. We got another mailbag that we'll be bringing you, and I already took a sneak peek into the mailbag questions. And a lot of you want to know what is going on with DK Metcalf. I got an update, a shocking update for you that we will get to coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do that, though, folks, want to make sure not only you're subscribed to Seahawks Today, but also that you're part of the Noti gang. Those are the folks that have their notifications turned on so they never miss a moment. That way you're alerted when we go live for the live shows we do on Mondays and Wednesdays, when we have breaking news, our daily videos, the watch parties we do, all that stuff. You got to be subscribed, and you got to turn on notifications. Join the Noti gang. Spam Noti gang in the comments section. Stay alerted what's happening with your favorite team all off-season long right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. First in the mailbag this week, Beta YT with a $20 super chat says, hello, everyone. Hello, Beta. Hashtag Seahawks. Who would you rather see us draft, whether it be first rounds or later rounds? My two favorite prospects for Seattle in this draft, I'll answer it this way, Beta, are Kelvin Banks, the offensive tackle from the University of Texas. The eyes of Texas are upon you all the livelong day. I think Kelvin Banks is fantastic. And there's not much wrong with his game. Very good pass blocker, very good run blocker. He's ready to start day one in the American Tackle Football League, known as the National Football League. Kelvin Banks would be great. But in our last mock draft that we did this week, sadly, he went about 1 or 2 picks before 18. So you might potentially have to trade up. I love Tyler Warren. I think he's going to be a star in the NFL. And think back to this last year, all right? I told you I was high on Brock Bowers and that I thought he was going to be a star in the NFL. And he had the best rookie tight end season that we've seen in the history of the National Football League. And I like Byron Murphy, but how much better off would Seattle be if they would have traded up and gotten Brock Bowers right now? It is safe. It is fair to admit, folks. And by all means, go in that comment section. You can tell me I was right, because I was right about Brock Bowers. And I'm going to be right about Tyler Warren as well. Those are my 2 favorites. Will they be available? We'll see as far as that goes. Later rounds, names to watch. I'm very curious about Dylan Gabriel. I think he could be a good value pick for Seattle potentially later in the draft. If you're looking for a young quarterback to potentially sit behind Geno and maybe be the successor down the road, but we'll see. Dan the Man Miller with a $50 super chat. Bang! Says, which OC do you think would be a home run for us, whether it's one we've interviewed or one we haven't interviewed? So at the time of this recording, Seattle has not hired an offensive coordinator just yet. And one name I would like them to consider is Doug Peterson. He's got the best resume of any offensive coordinator candidate in the entire NFL right now. He won a Super Bowl as head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a really good OC with the Kansas City Chiefs. And the problems there with the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't necessarily put a blame on him because Shad Khan is one of the worst owners in football. He can't even run AEW right with all the money he's putting in that just crappy wrestling league that's trying to compete with the WWE. So, Doug Peterson. Keep an eye on Dougie P. I think he would be a good fit potentially and would be a winner, and he's developed quarterbacks, and he's done that before. DK writes in, do you expect the Seahawks to trade or extend DK Metcalf? I got to tell you, there's a lot of rumblings. The talk is getting louder and louder about potentially trading DK Metcalf. And I'll sit here and I will continue to say, I don't want DK to go anywhere. I want DK to stay right here. I want to personally extend DK. You know, people have said, I think Dan Graziano of ESPN was talking about this a while back, you might have to make a choice. Do you pay DK or do you pay Geno? I'd much rather pay DK than I pay Geno. I think DK is one of the better receivers in this league. He has been one of the few constants for this football team over the last 5 seasons. He's just now in the prime years of his career. I think he and JSN are a very good match together. I don't want DK to go anywhere. And I don't think you're going to get much return in a trade anyway, considering how expensive receivers are. I would like to keep DK around. I don't want to see him traded. It seems that people are as loud as ever on potentially trading DK, but I hope that John Schneider and Mike Macdonald ignore those calls to move on from him. Should the Seahawks move on from DK Metcalf, or should they extend him? Type E for extend, T for trade. Weigh in the comments section and let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered, including events in Seattle like the Kraken. Maybe you want to go over to Spokane and watch Gonzaga in action, whatever it may be. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and then boom, just like that, you're checking out on Game Time with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's a deal you don't want to pass up on. You can also customize your spot They have the seat views and get the visual, see what that seat is like. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets. Lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of Seattle Seahawks today. Plant writes in, will Abraham Lucas return next season? Yes, I do think that Abe is going to be back for next year. What I do wonder is, what's the long term look like? Will his knee hold up? Does Seattle want to pay to see if that knee is going to hold up or not? I don't know exactly for the long term. I think if you're this Seattle team, you need all the reinforcements you can get. And, there's a possibility maybe Abraham Lucas potentially moves to the guard spot, depending on what the new offensive coordinator wants to do. But Abe, in those games that we saw him last year, granted it wasn't a lot, just over 400 snaps, his grades weren't bad. 62 offensive grade, close to 66 in pass blocking, 63 in run blocking. It was a tremendous improvement from anyone else we saw at that right tackle spot. I don't know exactly for certain what his role will be, but I'm bringing back Abe Lucas next year. I think that's a no-brainer, at least for next season. Beyond that, we'll see. Should the Seahawks bring back Abe Lucas? Weigh in, let us know. Type Y for yes, in for no, if you think Seattle should make a return with Abraham Lucas. Richard writes in, should we draft a Texas Longhorn player from our home state of Washington, Malik Agbo, to help with the offensive line, or try if he goes undrafted, make Malik Agbo a Seahawk there? Malik Agbo, that's an interesting idea. Malik Agbo from the University of Texas, 6'4", offensive lineman. This is somebody that, he was a former 4-star recruit, there with the University of Texas. He was highly sought after. I remember when he had some offers from, Florida, Auburn, just to name a few, some of the teams that were out there when he was looking. But, with that said, him being a Federal Way kid, he was a sophomore and all this past season. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's draft eligible just yet. I think that he was a true sophomore. So I think he's still got one more year at Texas, if I'm remembering this correctly. So maybe a name to keep down the line. But, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think he's draft eligible just yet, but maybe down the line potentially. That'd be a cool homecoming there. Troller Photographer says, what's the likelihood DK or K9 is traded? We talked about DK earlier. I think the chances are as high as ever, but I hope it doesn't happen. K9, I think same for him. I think the chances are as high as ever with him as well. But what I would do, if I was John Schneider, if I was Mike Macdonald, I am of the belief that running back is the most replaceable position in all of football. And what I would do is I would keep K9 and I would keep Zach Charbonnet on their rookie contracts, and I would run them both into the ground. I would get every ounce of them out of them as possible. And then you either bring them back on a short-term contract or you let them walk and you replace them with younger running backs. That, to me, is what's best for Seattle. Is that what's best for K9 or Zach Charbonnet to have long-term careers in the NFL? Absolutely not. But that's what's best for Seattle. I would bring K9 back. I'd bring Zach Charbonnet back. And I would just work them like a workhorse this next season and beyond, potentially. Last question. Brandon writes in, who should be our next OC based on availability? Let's talk about the candidates that have interviewed at the time of this recording, or the guys that are set to get interviewed. Grant Yadinsky intrigues me. I like him. I like Fraley, the Lions offensive line coach. Clint Kubiak, I also think, might be a decent hire as far as that goes. But Grant Yadinsky, I think is very interesting. He's 28 years old. He's my age. We don't know a lot about him, but they're saying all the right things. So we'll see. Appreciate y'all joining us here on Seahawks Today. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now for free. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. We had another super chat come in from Blaine. Let's see what Blaine had to say as we're close to wrapping up here. Fun show today, guys. Fun show today. You guys were awesome. One last shot. Go Hawks. Here we go. This one's going down the pipe for Blaine. Blaine, cheers to you. Go Hawks. All right. Appreciate you, Blaine. Blaine, you're a bad girl. I'm glad that you could join us and make a live show. Thanks for making your debut, making your presence known. Always a pleasure and chance. We get to have Blaine here. Her husband's a big fan of the show. They love Seahawks Today. They love Jonesy. They love Big Tex. We appreciate Blaine being here. All right. So here's the situation. Here's what we're in, folks. I got a minute on the clock. If we get a super chat of any amount, we'll stay alive, keep the show going. We are $55 away from a boot. I have not done a boot on a Wednesday live show in a very long time, but we can change that today. We can change that today, potentially, if we get $55 here. So, super chat of any amount, show keeps going. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We can talk Seahawks. We can talk college football. Whatever's on your minds. We can discuss, but it's up to you guys. Have to get a super chat of any amount to keep the show going. Otherwise, we'll sign off and call it a day. Tex, we haven't heard from you much today. Tell the folks out there while we have a few minutes. We mentioned in my mock draft I had Seattle taking Cameron Williams. You've seen a lot of him.
Yep.
What do you think about Cameron Williams? What can you tell us, and what do you think about the potential fit in Seattle for him?
Good question. I think he's a really big prospect. Like you said, he's physically imposing. I think a drawback of that is he probably needs to clean up the diet just a little bit. Needs to work on a little bit of his technique, but I think he has NFL size and potential and a really good frame that you can mold into a really good right tackle prospect, I think, at the next level.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he'd be a great fit. I think you put him at right tackle. Maybe you move Abe Lucas to right guard and make that work. I'm not seeing any more super chats, so I think we're going to sign off. Appreciate you guys being here. Fun show today on this Wednesday. We'll have continuing coverage on the channel the rest of the week. Make sure and join us next Monday. Same time, same place. Also live on Wednesday as well. We will see you then. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great night, everybody. So long.